Welcome guys, this is the Thatechmaestro, and as I said, I'll be improving my backend skills, and I started with Flask. So today in the tutorial I learned from a tutorial how to build a Flask login page. I'll be putting the link to that tutorial in the description below, and I'll be providing a walkthrough on how I went about this. So this is the fully functioning app of what I learned. I kept a documentation here. I usually have a documentation explaining what I know, what I realized, things I learned along the line that weren't clear that are now clear. Then this is a fully functioning app, so I'll be re-implementing this, and along the line I'll be explaining to you guys, so starting from scratch, what I understand, how I see it, and just a re-implementation and explanation from my own view. So let's get started. So first, I've created my directory called Flask, and there's a directory there called Flask login page. So I'm gonna open the terminal. Then let's see what's in the terminal. Let me raise this up a little. Then okay, cd into Flask. Then cd means change directory. I'm trying to improve my DevOps, so I'm on Linux all through, and I'm using Ubuntu. So that's why I'm used to these commands for those who don't know. So let me go to my login page. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I have to create my virtual environment. As you can see here, the virtual environment is active, so I'll be using a module virtual environment, then space what name I want to give my virtual environment. I can call mine venv. So I'm going to create that in the Flask login directory. So let's see. So we already have our virtual environment there. So let me create an app. Let's pi. So I start by creating app.py. Let's see. Just a public announcement. I love making mistakes. Those are the way I learn, and that's the best way to show that I'm improving. Let me just put this by the side. And put this by the side. Okay. So good. Let me clear the screen now. Okay, back. So I've created my app.py. This app.py is going to contain all my application logic. Now, since I'm creating a simple login form, I have to put everything in a template. So every static file or what the user is going to be seeing, I have to create a new directory. I'll call it templates. Then this is where it's going to contain all my static folder, my HTML files, CSS, whatever the user is going to see is going to be in this folder. Then let me check. So we have the home and we have the login page, so I'll be creating that too. So the HTML, then login. So as you're watching this video, be implementing it with me. Just don't just watch it, because watching tutorial really does not help. So follow through, be implementing along, and keep the major thing about coding is you code along, pause whenever it's required. Just make sure you follow along. So starting with the login page, so let me create a simple login page. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to write all this code, I'm going to write it back here. So let me just bring this down a little, and so we have the doc type and our HTML tag, then the head tag. I'll be explaining this too. So if you look at this what you see here, you can see a name, new tab. So most of the things you see on the head, like this is the head tab, it contains description about page, like a summary. What you see on these are headers. So what you see on this tab, like new tab, is the name of this page, is the name of this tab. That is what is going to be contained here. So it's having a meta character set of UTF-8. I really don't know what that is, to be totally honest, but you could Google it. Then the title is login page. So you come here. If you are seeing this, for this page, the title of this page is new tab, but for ours the title is going to be login page. So you can save this and you can quickly check that. I'm using an extension called live server. It helps you to quickly open HTML pages here. So see, the login page is here, the login page is here. So that's how it is. So it's working. So this place, the login page, the name of our page, that's the title for this page, is the login page, which is what is indicated here using the head tag. Then let's go to providing a body. So this is the name of the extension, live server extension. Then the body, so the body, from my documentation I realized in HTML, this is how I interpret it. This is like the name, and inside, whatever you put inside these tags are like characteristics or actions, which extra information about how you want this thing to behave. So now for the body tag, if you come into the login.html, you want a characteristic of, in this body tag, I want it to have a characteristic of the background color, which is BG color, to be equal to blue. So you save that and you see. So just listen to how I interpret it. So it might be clear, it might not be clear, but that's how I interpret it. I see this as a tag, then extra characteristics fall in here. If you check this now, the background should be blue. Now the background is blue. So we have the tag, then the characteristics. So in this page I want a form. So let's create the form now. We use the form tag. Most everything in HTML is tag for now. So far all I've been using involve tag action. So I want a characteristics. This form is going to have characteristics of whereby it performs an action, and this action is going to send whatever information I receive from this form, whatever data is entered into this form is sent to this route, form.login, using a method post. So it's going to use a post method. So I gave a simple explanation on how I interpret. Post means data can be sent via this page to the server. Get means you're requesting for a page from the server. So if you want to send data back to your server, you make a post request. If you want to get a page, you are making a GET request. So most times when you go to a website, say if you just write something like let's say if you Google Python, now if you Google Python, you are making a GET request because you're requesting for this page from Google. But if you passed extra query, or let's say you're in a website and you want to pass your login, such as your username and password, you want to pass it back to the server, you'll be making a post request because the server has to authenticate whether you're a registered user for that service or not. So that's that. So that's it. So you're making a post request, and let's define what is going to be in our form. We're going to have a name, the h2 tag, try to Google some of the things you don't understand. It will be easy that way. H2 tag and the inputs. So I'll be run. You have the inputs, and it's going to be type text. So how what is just like the data type? What type of input is it going to be? So it's going to be text. Then you're going to give it a name, which the form is going to pass when it is sending to this route. So the form is going to pass whatever name you enter, is going to pass username is equal to what you enter when it's sending to this route.